Have you ever wanted to escape yourself, to outrun your past, to silence the voice inside that keeps whispering, "You are not enough"? Augustine tried. He chased pleasure, power, and brilliance. But the deeper he ran, the more he found himself haunted by one simple fact. Wherever he went, there he was. Long before he was a saint, Augustine was a man divided. A brilliant North African rhetorician with a Roman education, trapped between the pull of desire and the ache for something greater. He lived in an age of upheaval, the late Roman Empire crumbling at the edges, culture caught between fading paganism and the rise of Christianity. Augustine had everything the world promised would satisfy: success, fame, lovers, and intellectual admiration. But underneath it all, he felt hollow. His passions consumed him, yet never fulfilled him, and he began to ask what few dared to. What if the world is not enough? What if the emptiness isn't in things but in me? In his Confessions, Augustine reveals a war not between man and man, but between man and time. He's obsessed with memory, the way we carry our pasts like shadows stitched into our skin. He asks, why do we remember what wounds us? Why can't we forget who we were? For Augustine, time isn't just the ticking of clocks. It's the strange theater where desire plays itself out, where we reach for pleasures but always too late. We imagine the future, regret the past, and rarely live in the present. Desire for Augustine is both a fire and a trap, a misdirection of love, a chasing after things that can never hold our weight. It is this restless longing that defines human life. As he wrote, "Our hearts are restless until they rest in you." But what does that mean in a secular world? What if God is just a metaphor for the center we keep losing? The still point we yearn for but can't name? We might ask, was Augustine just suppressing desire? Was he fleeing from his humanness? But perhaps it's the opposite. Perhaps he was one of the first to fully confront it, to look into the mirror of his soul and see the chaos there and name it without flinching. He wasn't rejecting desire, he was tracing it to its source. Augustine's greatest insight wasn't moralistic, it was psychological, even spiritual, that we don't suffer because we desire. We suffer because we misplace our desire. We pour our longing into temporary vessels, hoping they will carry us across eternal oceans, but they sink again and again. Augustine's conversion wasn't the rejection of life. It was the awakening to a deeper one. One not defined by impulse or guilt, but by the reordering of love. He said, "Sin is not doing bad things. It's loving lesser things more than greater ones." In that light, sin isn't disobedience. It's disorientation. We lose ourselves not because we are evil, but because we forget what we are. Augustine wasn't just a religious thinker. He laid the foundations of the modern self, anticipating Freud, Kierkegaard, even Heidegger. His work maps the subconscious before psychology had a name. He grapples with inner division, with memory, guilt, and the relentless ache of time. But most importantly, Augustine gives voice to the part of us that doesn't want to settle. The part that keeps searching, questioning, yearning, even when we pretend otherwise. His journey was never really about doctrine. It was about the soul's long return to itself. He began with a question: can you escape yourself? Augustine's answer was hard-earned. You don't need to. Because maybe the self you're running from isn't your enemy, it's your map. Maybe desire isn't your flaw, it's your compass. And maybe time isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. In the end, Augustine whispers what we all need to hear. You are not your past. You are your longing. Let it lead you. Watch more videos on Philowhisp for the timeless truths that shape us.